Okay, yesterday we went over these 4. I modeled for you how to do them. So today, or yesterday, you completed this on your own. So today I'm going to go over it with you. Okay, so the 3 is what you're going to round. The 8 is telling you what to do to the 3. So let me look at my notes again, because remember, step 3 is the most important in your notes. Let's see if I can move it over a little bit. There you go. Whoa. Oh, too much. Okay. So the 8, go to step 3. Is it 4 or less or 5 or more? It's 5 or more, so I'm going to raise the score. So I'm going to add 1 more to that 3. So the 3 is going to turn into a 4. Everything to the left of the rounded digit comes down. Everything to the right turns to zeros. But I told you, do you have to write those zeros? No. Because any 0 that is to the right of all the digits in a decimal, you don't need to write them. Unless like this was an 8 and this was a 1, yes, you would have to write that 0. But anything that's on the end, the right end of a decimal, doesn't need to be written. It doesn't make it wrong if you wrote it though. All right, they want you to round to the nearest hundredth. So the 5 is going to tell you what to do. Go to your step 3. Is it 4 or less or 5 or more? It's 5 or more, so we're going to raise the score. Okay, 0 plus 1 is 1. Now we're going to write all the digits to the left, including that 0. Okay, is there another way I could write this? Well, and everything to the left goes, or everything to the right turns 0. Or I could have written it like how I had it. Okay. 284 and 91 thousandths. They want you to round to the nearest hundredth. So the 9 tells you to do what with that 0? Let's go to step 3. Is it 4 or less or 5 or more? It's 5 or more. So that 1 or 0 is going to turn to a 1 because you're adding 1 more. All the digits to the left, what do we do with it? They stay the same, so we just bring them down. All the digits to the right turn to a 0. Or do I have to, because it's a decimal, do I have to write those zeros? No. Remember, it only works that way if it's a decimal. If this was a whole number and it was just 2,841, you would have to make sure, or if it was like the whole entire thing and didn't have a decimal there, you'd have to have the zeros. So be careful. All right, 0. They want you to round to the nearest tenth. The 5 tells you what to do. Look at step 3. Is it 4 or less or 5 or more? It's 5 or more, so you're going to raise the score. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Everything to the left of the rounded digit gets just brought down. You keep it. Everything to the right turns to zeros. Or because it's a decimal, you don't have to write that 0. And make sure your decimals don't look like commas. You don't want to get that confused between commas and decimals. So you might need to make your dot a little bit darker so that you can see it's a dot, a decimal, not a comma for a whole number. Because otherwise, that could really mess you up. All right, go ahead, check your work over, make sure you made corrections, and go on to today's lesson.